After you subscribe, do not forget to hit that notification button so you can stay up to date with our latest videos. Enjoy! What is up, guys? How you doing? It's your boy Vic started with Thank You Gaming, and today we're gonna take a look at one of the decks that I have based on Kinnan, Prodigy, and now that card is just amazing. And I've seen a couple of people putting out there online, their decks about Kinnan, because with this card there's plenty of different ways you can set up a deck. And as you see, we have a deck right here with white, blue, black, and green mana. But the black is, you'll see the black is there because only one card. But I mean, the majority of the people that use Kinnan, they use it on Simic colors, which is blue and green, and that is deadly. But I wanted to incorporate a couple of more things here to make it kind of like a more broken deck in sense, because the reason you use Kinnan is because you want a mana ramp, and that's the sole reason. But if that's your only strategy, you can come into trouble. So let's get right into it. We're gonna go over the deck real quick so you guys can see what we have. So of course, the main attraction here is Kinnan, Prodigy. Now, whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produce. And then its other option, which is pretty cool, because once you have a lot of mana, you can start doing this. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So it gets, with this, you're able to kind of cheat out those big creatures if you happen to get them in the top 5, top 5 cards of your library without, only paying 7 mana. So with mana ramping, and I've seen a lot of people doing it for Commander or Brawler, if you have him, try to get those big creatures in your deck as well, because you will have a lot of mana involved. But for us, we're using it just because we want to get that non-land permanent for mana, and you add 1 more. So what cards that are standard right now can you use with Kinnan to give you that mana ramp? So we're going to go into that first. So first you have Incubation Druid. So Incubation Druid is at 1 mana of any that type, a land you control. So if you control a land that is dual, well, it's gonna produce one of those 2 colors. If you have all 4 lands out there, you have the mountain, the island, the forest, the swamp, is gonna give you that. Or if you have a land that gives you all the colors, this is gonna give you 1 of any color, essentially. And the other thing is that +1/+1 counter on it, then it'll give you 3 mana. So if you have this on and you have the +1/+1 counter, it has to be a +1/+1 counter. It can be an enchantment that gives it that gives it like a +1/+1. It has to be like a it can be an enchantment like a sorcery, or when you mutate and it says that this creature gets so much +1/+1 counters for this to actually work. And if you can't, then you can adapt for 4 and you're good to go with that. With Kinnan, this becomes a creature that gives you 4 mana. 4 mana, that's insane. Insane with 4 mana. So the little strategy that I like to do with Incubation Druid is with Stony Strength. Because with Stony Strength, I come across that it puts a +1/+1 counter on a target and you can untap it. And it works. When you put this +1/+1 counter on Incubation Druid, you will get that effect that it'll turn into 3 mana. So what I do is, I'll tap Incubation Druid for 1 forest. So I can go ahead and use Stony Strength on it. And then after I do that, now I have 3 mana to work with. So in other words, I spend 1 mana to get 3 mana. I think that's a pretty good deal. And if you have Kinnan, you just traded 1 mana for 4 mana. So I think that's pretty good. The other card that you can use with Kinnan is Paradise Druid. Now, there's other cards out there, but this one's work with what I want to do. Incubation Druid is a nice defender to have. It gives you 4 mana. I wanted a lot of mana, And Paradise Druid has a hexproof, so with this card, there's, not only can it give you the mana of any color, but you can mutate this, leave it alone, and make it a big creature, and then swing at your opponents. And if you happen to use the 1 mana that will give you 2 with Kinnan, you use Stony Strength to untap it, and then you're good to go. Now, with Paradise Druid, also is good to have something that gives it vigilance, because it says that Paradise Druid, when you tap it, it becomes the hexproof goes away. But with Sentinel's Eye, you got vigilance. You're never gonna tap, even if you attack. You're only gonna tap if you want the mana for it. So that's pretty much the mana ramp for the Kinnan, and that combination right there, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, going to the whole strategy of this is bringing out big creatures and ending the game fast. So we're gonna go right through it. So we got Sentinel's Eyes, Vigilance, gives you +1/+1 on Vigilance. The cool thing about it is the escape. You can exile 2 cards from your graveyard, pay 1 white mana, and you can bring it back. So this is an enchantment that pretty much doesn't go away. So that's why we're running 2. Stoning Strength, it works perfect with Incubation Druid and Paradise Druid, because and 1 more card that you guys are gonna see. So it's good to have that. Shatter Spear, if we want our Paradise Druid, or we're bringing those big creatures that we need that trample. And if we're low on health, we have got big creatures out there, we will get the health. The Osthilith, with all this +1/+1 counters and counters that we're going to be getting based with the mutations and things like that, it's good to have the Osthilith, because whenever a creature controls leave the battlefield, if you have counter honor, you put it on the Osthilith, and then you put it back on any creature you have on the battlefield. And we also have the Crystalline Giant, so he gives you multiple counters. So we put him out there. When all those counters go away, we can put in another creature, and then boom, attack. Angelic Gift, we don't have much flying, and we came across some flyers, and that was kind of annoying. So I put this here kind of for the draw, to get some draw out of the deck. And of course, it gives flying to any creature. And if you got a lot of mana out there and you need a card, you throw this out here, give flying to your creature, and then you get that draw card. Pacifism, until while we need some removal, but I went instead with this, because instead of destroying a creature, might as well just enchant it so it can't attack or block. So that's also gonna help us, until we wait to get our mana ramp going, because if we got the druids out, we don't want to block with them, because those are going to be our mana ramp. So having pacifism, we don't have to block anything, because they won't be able to attack. We already talked about this too. You guys know Kinnan. Mirror Shield is amazing, one of the underrated cards in Magic. Reason being, if we have a lot of cards out there, heck, let's say we got Incubation Druid, and he has already got the +1/+1 counter. We have Kinnan in our hand. We put Kinnan first, and it's gonna activate Druid to give you 4. That way you can drop the shield and put it on Kinnan, and once Kinnan has it, unless they have a boar removal, a boar wipe, nobody's gonna take him out. The other cool thing about this is, you can use with Mirror Shield, any creature that has Mirror Shield, you can trump block any Death Touch. So it will help you with Death Touch, because when you block or you are blocked by, when you attack somebody with Death Touch, it automatically destroys that card. It doesn't even the damage won't go through if you're attacking, but it destroys the card. Now, Banishing Light, the same thing with pacifism, but this one, you can take away any permanent, any enchantment, any planeswalkers. So it's very, very helpful, because you're trying to hold back until you get those big creatures out there as well. Gift of Paradise, again, we're running 4 colors in this deck, so this helps us get there, and it gives us life. So if we for some reason don't block with the druids and we lose some life, we get it back with this. Hydra's Growth, it's an absolute broken card. I'm still surprised it hasn't been banned. because when you have the Paradise Druid with the Sentinel's Eye, it has hexproof. You put the Hydra's Growth on it and you just wait and you let it. That bad boy is gonna get humongous, and then you just attack. And if he has trample with this and lifelink, GG. Angelic Gift, it has flying. They either don't have anything flying or reach, GG. If they happen to kill it, all those +1/+1 counters goes to the Otolith, and you can give it to another creature. So Hydra's Growth is crazy, and I'm just gonna read it. When Hydra's Growth enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on enchanted creature. Okay. At the beginning of your upkeep, double the number +1/+1 counters on each creature. So you start with 1, then with 2, then with 4, then with 8, then with 16, 32, 64. You get the picture, all right? The Crystalline Giant. This in real life, when you're playing Magic the Gathering with your friends, is pretty awesome because the first counter you're gonna use is hexproof. Unfortunately, here in MTG Arena, the way it works is at random, which is, you have to pick it at random, but you're picking at random from that list. In real life, you're gonna pick hexproof unless they show a way of how to do it. Maybe you have the little counters in the back, and then you shake the back, and then you choose the counter without looking. Then that'll be different. But this card, we're using it because all the counters that it has, and it works amazing with the Otolith, because if any of this dies, it goes to the Otolith, and you can put it in another creature. And putting the Crystalline Giant, I've seen that when you put it, people want to get rid of it so fast, they forget about Kinnan and the Druids, and Crystalline Giant is not even your end game. So that's crazy. Cup Warden, again, just to give any creature lifelink, and if you have a creature with Hydra's Growth and it gets pretty big, you put this in, and automatically it gives you two blockers, and then that creature has lifelink as well. Volbekeet, the same thing. When this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter, and with flying. So if you're looking to block a flyer, or you encounter some people with flying, this is also a good thing. And plus, it gives it a +1/+1 counter on it. So moving forward, Gem Razor. When you mutate this, or you mutate this card, or you mutate this on another creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. And again, it's another removal, but I like having those removals are pretty much effective, that you can get everything out, like the Banishing Light or something like this, that not only is a creature, not only is it going to give me reach and trample, but it also is going to allow me to destroy a target artifact or enchantment, so I don't waste this card on like a sorcery or an instant. And to mutate costs 3, so it's pretty good. Now, this card right here, that's a little crazy. So if we go back to Incubation Druid, let's say Incubation Druid has a +1/+1 counter, and so he's going to give you 3. With Kinder, it's going to give you 4. With Leyline of Abundance, is going to give you 5. So one creature is going to give you 5. So let's run through real quick a quick scenario. So we drop Incubation Druid on our second turn, right? So we have him plus 2 lands. So right now we're a 3 mana, right? Let's say on our third turn we do the little trick for Stony. So now we are at 5 mana, and we put Kinnan. In. And let's say we started with Leyline. So by turn 4, we're gonna have potentially 9 mana to drop one of those big creatures. And it happened to me. On turn 4, I was able to drop one of the end games, and the guy quit with 20 life. So moving on, Bonjour Lurker. Now, this card, I'm still debating. I've played it and it works well. It synergizes with the deck. Whenever this creature returns, target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So it allows me to get, my enchantments. and my creatures back just in case if I lose Kinnan or if I lose Paradise, I can bring it back, or any permanent that I lost, I can bring back. Even the enchantments the enchantment saga that I have, I can bring back. So it's a good card to have end game if you're still looking for a card. Then we have Vivian. Now this card, you can choose any other planeswalker you have. I just like this card, but it's because is also because of the counters as well. But here's the thing. You may look at the top of your library at any time. You may cast creature spells from the top of your library, and you may cast creature spells from the top of your library. So pretty much it gives your creatures on the library flash. So you can put them out there at instant speed, and that's also good if you want to trump block something. Amazing. But the +1 ability gives you a 3/3 green beast that you can either give vigilance, reach, or trample. Now, this is strictly to block because people are going to attack Vivian, so it's very difficult to get Vivian out of the way. So if you see that they have a flyer, give it reach. If you think that it's going to survive, then give it vigilance, and you can attack with it and block with it as you wish. Now, those counters, if the creature goes away, you have the Oscillith out, you get those counters and put another creature. Now, the -2 is when you cast your next creature spell this turn, search your library for a creature card with lesser converted mana cost, put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So I don't know. I want to see if you guys get this picture. All right. Let's say you have two big creatures, right? You put one big creature out after you activated the -2. You're able to get that other big creature into the battlefield. Just imagine this. Let's go to Kiara quick. Time wipe by the way. I'm sorry. Time wipe by the way is we need a board wipe because sometimes it takes a while for our synergy to work, and then we can return a creature, and if we return a creature that has been mutated, you get all those creatures back. Just keep that in mind. But back with Vivian and Kiara, I unfortunately only have one. Let's say I had 4 enchantments, because this is less, right? Oh, lesser. I wouldn't be able to do it, but let's say you have something like this, or maybe a creature that is 6. You put Kiara, and then you bring another creature with 6, maybe a Bonejar Lurker 4/4 or something humongous, and you don't have to pay for it. So that's crazy. Now back to Kiara. This card, I was able to put this card on turn 4. So a 7-drop on turn 4 is ridiculous. I had my Paradise, my Incubation, and Kinnan, and I had like 4 lands. So I was able to put this card in the battlefield, and it's crazy. Let's just read through it because this is an end gamer. So create an 8/8 blue Kraken creature token with hexproof. So it's an 8/8 with hexproof. So even if they destroy the enchantment, you will get the 8/8 hexproof. So that's already good. At 8/8. All right. Then next turn, when you're ready to attack with this 8/8, tap all non-land permanents target controls data on tap during their controller's next untapped state. So you're gonna have 2 chances of attacking your opponent with their creatures untapped. And let's say they put another creature in. When it comes back to you, you gain control of target permanent. I usually just take the creature that they put so they can't block, and I already hit them for 16 unblockable hits. So when I did it, the guy had 20 and he quit because I was going to hit him with 16. He was going to have 4. So this card is just ridiculous, and you get this on turn 4. You're like, are you serious? Another thing that you can get on turn 4, and I don't know if you guys remember, I talked about Tony's strength as well, is calcification. Because here's the thing. He enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. So he's going to tap the creature. Enchanted creature gets +20/+20. Well, if I enchant the creature and he taps, I pay 1 more, and I can attack already with this. Because of course you're gonna put classification on a card that doesn't have summoning sickness. You're gonna put it on something that you want to attack. You have stony strength. You put it in. You're attacking with a 20/20 plus whatever the creature had by itself. Like the lowest creature we have is probably Kinnan with a 2/2. You're hitting with 22 with 22. Heck, check this out. You put Kiara. Next turn you put this. You got a 28/28. Game over. You don't have to wait on a second time. Game over. You're gonna hit them with a 28. And if you're facing a deck that is lifelink deck that they are probably like in their 40s, you hit them twice with 28. It's over. It's over. So these are the end game cards. You can have more end game cards, but it might slow down your deck. That's why Kinnan was like the priority in this deck, but I try to have other ways to win the game as well. So the next card is Voracious Hydra. I hope that Corset 21 brings another copy of this because I love this card. I wouldn't want it to go away from standard. Usually people use this card for the double the number, which is pretty awesome, but I like to use it to fight because it is another target removal that I can have with this card because usually I use the one that target creature you don't control, you fight it. So if you have a lot of mana, you can do a smush mana for the X value here, and then kill their big creatures. And then if it goes away and I need another target removal, I'll just mutate anything that has this guy. I mutate this guy, and then I can get it back. So pretty much this is the deck. I mean, it synergizes as well. For the lands, I mean, I have the Lotus Field because it has hexproof. I don't know if you guys could tell, like the majority of the creatures that we have revolves around hexproof because we're going to mutate those creatures with the hexproof, so it makes it difficult for the opponent to take away your creatures. That's why we have the Paradise Druid. It's a 2-drop. We can have it, leave it alone, and then we can start mutating. So Lotus Field kind of goes with the theme there. Gateway Plaza gives you any color. So the Incubation Druid will be able to give you any color when this is out. Evolving Wilds. Everybody uses Evolving Wilds. Unfortunately, I don't have Fable Passage, but Fable Passage will be amazing because with so much mana that we're going to have with Fable Passage, it will come in on tap. But the Evolving Wilds, just in case we need that island or we need that card based on the cards that we have. Then 7 forests, 1 island. We really don't have much with blue, so the 1 island. We only have 1 with black, so we don't have any black. We let this help us, and we left the Gift of Paradise that gives any land any color, and our Druids that gives you any color for those cards. 4 plains and 7 forests. If we go into the stats, our average mana is 2.7. You guys can see the breakdown: 53, 28, 8 and 3. Reason that's why we only have one blue mana, and no land for no swamps. And then the reason why we have 7 forests and 4 islands. 15 creatures, only 3 instants and 1 sorcery, 7 artifacts, enchantments, because we really want the auras and the sagas. Only 1 planeswalker. If you want to add 1 more, by all means, up to you. And then 20 lands, because we're going to be running pretty much with the druids. As you see, 7 druids is going to help us out with that. So anyways, so that's my deck for Kinnan. I think it covers all the bases. When the synergy works, we get people scooping left and right, or we make it very difficult for the opponent to win the game, and we put ourselves in a good situation to win. Now, of course, like any other, this deck, there are other decks out there are pretty powerful as well. So when we come across a lot of removal, a lot of Dimir colors, or a lot of control decks, this it becomes annoying because they take away obviously what you're trying to do. But it's good to have different ways of winning the game, different strategies that might win you the game. So if you focus on one card, in that card, for example, if Kinnan was my only thing and I couldn't win without him, the moment I put him in, he gets a lot of attention. People get him out, and that's it. You got nothing else. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think about this deck. If it's something that you guys are going to use, if it's something that you guys think there's a change that I can make, leave it in the comment section below. I will definitely would love to hear y'all opinions. Also, if you guys want to see, if you guys want to see a card that you have, maybe it's a legendary mythic card, and you guys want to see a deck for it, let me know. I love making Magic the Gathering decks with with interesting synergies and things like that. But anyways, thank you for y'all support, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch, and this is your boy Vix38, and he's out. Deuces. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching our video. Please share it, leave a like, and if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel. But more important, guys, head over to twitch.tv/thankyougaming99 and go follow us on our Twitch. Make sure you put that notification on so you make sure when we are live and when we're streaming, so you guys can join us and have fun with us. Hope you guys enjoyed everything. Thank you so much. Deuces.